Hi, I'm Neil Dowling. I'm from Western Ford Driver. We're on the Mundaring Powerline track and we're driving Ford's latest Ranger equivalent, the Raptor. Now this is based on the Ranger, made in Thailand, but with most of the underbody coming from Ford Performance in America. So it's quite a different type of machine. It's not like a worker like the Ranger, it's more aimed at the sport leisure market. And it has a lot of goodies underneath the body to make it really put the emphasis on handling rather than the emphasis on power and performance. This vehicle behind me looks like a Ranger. It's not, it's a Raptor. A lot of the body panels are different. Certainly the underbody is different. Let's have a closer look. So underneath here is the same, pretty much the same chassis as the Ranger, but the front and rear track are up by about 130 mil, nice and wide. The suspension's all different, all supplied by Ford Performance in America and coming through Fox shocks. So that's the new shock absorber, new coils, completely different ratings for everything. Much higher ground clearance thanks to these 33-inch wheels. 285 70 by 17s on, again, Ford Performance rims. So these tyres, 33-inch diameter tyres, are standard, as is this, to give it a bit of extra width for the extended track. These wheels, made by Ford Performance, also unique to the car, and disc brakes at the front and the back. You don't get that on a Ranger, and neither do you get a rear coil suspension on the Ranger. So, as I said, underneath, quite different from a standard Ranger. These steps are also unique to the Raptor. Again, they're out of America. Very heavy duty metal, spray painted in like a sandpaper finish so you don't slip. Just one quick note about the front. Ford Australia has borrowed the style of the Ford Raptor F-150 in America. So it's unique to this vehicle. A nice big black Ford emblazoned nose. You can't miss it. Under the bonnet, not what you'd expect. We don't get the V6 like the Americans get. We get a 2-litre bi-turbo diesel, and it sounds like it's a bit paltry really in comparison. But actually this unit works very well, and it's, in a lot of ways it replaces the 3.2 5-cylinder diesel quite nicely. It's a very smooth engine, it's very economical, very torquey, and I think in a lot of ways better than the 3.2 it replaces. It's just a shame that with a name like Raptor you'd expect a little bit more power. Good to see that Ford Australia has thought about recovery points. 2 really big heavy ones at the front and 2 really big ones like this at the back. Part of the free stuff in the $75,000 this Raptor is going to cost you is this nice heavy duty tub liner. The problem is it's only got a 750 kilogram payload, which is pretty weak, and compared to Ranger, which is over 1,000 kilograms. In addition, the total rating is only 2,500 kilograms, and Ranger again is 3,500 kilograms. So it's really made for play more so than work. All right, so someone who knows a Ranger can walk into this car quite comfortably and know exactly where everything is. All of this is pretty much the same as Ranger. Same gear, and it follows Wildtrak's equipment list. There's a little bit more extra stitching. This is in blue to mark the Raptor. Wildtrak, for example, is in orange. The same system for changing into two-wheel drive to four-wheel drive and four-wheel drive high. There's a lockable rear diff, hill descent, and traction control off. Basically, that's all you need. There is the gearbox in this system is a 10-speed. It comes out of a Ford Mustang and was unique to Raptor until quite recently, when the 2-litre engine, which moved into the Everest and some of the Ranger models, also picked up the same gearbox. Instruments over here, very much the same. A little bit of red lighting, a little bit more trim around here, but basically this is a Ranger, and with that comes a little bit of hard plastic some places, but you get to expect that. So sometimes it looks, you understand why they've done it to make it a more durable vehicle, but other times you look at it and you say, well, it's 75 grand, and really that's a little bit sort of a bit cheapish. Okay, like the Ranger, made for 5 people in total, 3 in the back. Quite comfortable, plenty of room. Alcantara here over the top of the leather. Fold down with cup holders. There are 2 baby seat anchor points here, and that's a really great idea for families who like this type of vehicle. But the problem is connecting them is quite difficult. The type of vehicle where you'd really want to just put the baby seat in, connect them up and leave them there, because as I said, they're quite difficult to attach and undo. So though this Raptor is based on the Ranger, the fact that it's got a much wider track front and rear and different suspension makes a completely different car to drive. In fact, one of its endearing features is it's so stable on the bitumen. High speed cornering, even just long distances are much smoother, more comfortable. It turns into a corner better. I think they've done a really good job, and I think it's a lesson here for maybe could be extended to Ranger for the future. Because the Raptor gets 33-inch wheels, it's changed the final drive ratio. So what Ford has done is put a different diff in the back, and it's the only thing that changes really underneath compared to Ranger when it comes to the actual drive line. What that does is it makes sure that the car is geared properly for the city and for the highway. Keeps the economy good. This one gets about 8.2 litres per 100 as a claim. You won't get that. It's generally around 12 litres per 100. And that differential also makes sure that it has the 10-speed gearbox has a wide range to choose from, whether you're towing, whether you're cruising, whether you're in the city. So the Raptor is not for everyone. It is a sports utility vehicle, more so than the Ranger, which is more work-oriented. This is very expensive at nearly $75,000 plus on-road costs. Look, it's a great machine. It has a very limited niche market. I've driven one extensively over the past few months in addition to this test, and I really liked it. But I found that in the city it's a very big vehicle. The turning circle is almost 13 metres, quite difficult to get around. And I think the fuel consumption could be a little bit better. People would expect more from a 2-litre diesel. Overall, niche market, very good car for a person who's very into sports touring, has a light load to carry on the back, likes the leisure. For a workman, no, best to drive the Ranger. Overall, great machine, suits Australia. I welcome a V6 though.